What's up, guys? As you can see, we're not in the studio at home. We're actually at the Abilities Expo in Chicago. And this podcast is going to be a little different. It's going to be like a speedcast. The sound is not going to be as great because of how wide open this space is. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Please enjoy this Life to the Max speedcast. What is up, everybody? It is Life to the Max podcast, and we are at the Abilities Expo in Schaumburg, Illinois. It is June 22nd, it's Saturday, 2025, and today I'm here with Dave Stevens. He has an amazing story, and I'm very excited to finally get him on for a little short podcast and hopefully get him on for a big one in the future. Dave, say hi to the people.
Absolutely. It's great to be here. I know we've been trying to connect for 3 days, and luckily we finally have. So it's great to spend a few minutes with you, and I'm excited to expand this down the road and really talk about both of our lives and what we've overcome. But man, I'm so proud to see someone else trying to do what I do. And there's not a lot of us with disabilities in media or television or production. We're the biggest minority in the world, and we have the smallest voice. So it's great that you're giving your voice and letting other people tell their stories.
I definitely agree with you because I was really worried at first, about the podcast when I first started, because I didn't know how I was gonna get it out there. I knew I had the material. I knew I had the charisma to talk, but I didn't know how to get it out there. If you catch my drift, especially with being a C1 quadriplegic.
Yeah, sometimes I don't think the world is ready to see us for us. Everybody sees the models and the people on TV, and they think that's how life is. But as I said, there are more people with disabilities out there than any other minority. And you can be born Jewish, you can be born Hispanic, but you can become disabled at any time. And so we don't want you to join our world, but I want to see more and more people embrace our world and give us those opportunities to get that out there. So I hope more and more people see your growth. I'm going to do whatever I can to help you, and we'll just, take over what we need to do. I mean, why Sirius XM Radio doesn't have a channel dedicated to the disabled community where they could have doctors and therapists and motivational speakers and people like yourself. We need that opportunity. So if anybody's listening there, hey, let's start getting things going.
For real. Can we dive in a little bit?
Absolutely.
On your story?
I'm here for you, man.
All right, man. So basically, were you born like this?
Yeah. For those listening and those watching, I was born without legs. And strike one, put up for adoption, strike two. But I had a loving couple, a World War II veteran and a housewife that adopted me. They were a lot older, but they adopted me right from the hospital. And again, being born without legs is a tough challenge enough, but being adopted and trying to find somebody that is going to put up with all that. And I just lived a normal life. They taught me that my normal was not having legs. And so, I took it to the next levels playing sports. I became a 3-sport athlete in high school in wrestling, baseball, and football. It wasn't one of those, hey, we hand off to the guy for one play. I was an athlete. I had to beat out players on all those sports, and then ended up playing college football in Minnesota at Augsburg University. Had a chance to play minor league baseball for the St. Paul Saints in 1996, teammates with Darryl Strawberry. Again, the only guy without legs ever to do that. And then, try it with the Dallas Cowboys, worked at ESPN for 20 years, won 7 Emmys, and continue to have a talk show and go to the Super Bowl and World Series and things like that. I'm still living the dream. I'm Forrest Gump. I've done things that people only can dream of. And, I'm 59 and I'm still trying to go out there and show that no matter what we've been given, we try to make the most of what we do. And just like yourself, I try to take that out of disability and let us realize that we have a brain, we can still contribute.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You have quite a record on you. I did not know you did 7 Emmys, and you were ES Plus. You did 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I've been to 30 Super Bowls.
Wow.
Yeah, and just was at the last one this year, and it's I still can't believe I get to go to these cities and be around the players and enjoy hanging around World Series and things like that. I mean, I pinch myself, but for me, the stories are meeting people like yourself, the true heroes, the people that have overcome. You can get paid $20 million a year to hit a baseball, but are you really making a difference in life? And that's what you're doing with your show. You're making a difference and giving a voice, a platform.
Yep. That's what I try to do. And the show basically is people who face adversity and like persevering. So whether gets 30 views or 30,000 views or 30 million views, like I know that one of those people that listening in their ear, it's gonna like affect their life, or it's gonna help them or impact them, and that's the goal, you know.
And we live in a world, it's a 7-second swipe world. Like if we have no interest, we're swiping left or right and not paying attention and not getting to the content. So they'll judge that book by the cover. They'll look at you and go, oh, he's in a wheelchair, I feel sorry for him. But they don't realize there's a human being trapped inside that has a voice and has a platform. And that's what I'm doing. I'm so proud to see what you're doing. It's been amazing to watch you here work, and you've got to be exhausted.
Dude, 40 people, man. And I've never been more blessed in my life because of all, like, it really is true when you say it could always be worse. Because I've talked to people with brain surgeries, 100 surgeries. Shout out to Chronically Creative. She was amazing, you know. And I find so much strength like in these people, and they gravitate towards me, and then they're like, well, you gravitate towards me, so it's like a beautiful thing. It's like this synchronization that you can't really explain unless you're a part of the disability world, you know.
Right, and it's our job to teach empathy and not sympathy, and to realize that we all have value. Do you need to carry a backpack and go through training camp in an Army situation to be able to build our military defense systems? No, but you could have a brain and use those computers. You know, same for police. Can you be in a wheelchair and be a detective? Yes, you can go to the places, you can do these kind of things. And we don't think outside the box about those gifts that we have. Again, judging that book by its cover, they're going to go, he's in a wheelchair, that guy has no legs, what future do they have? But again, our stories, and as you said, there are people out there that have it way worse than us. And so I count my blessings every day, and it's my job to be that advocate for us.
Yeah. It's I've never been around this many disabled people in my life. I've always like been more like hanging out with like my friends that are like that are able-bodied, like so. I've only had like 2 friends that were disabled, so when I really like dove into the community and got a booth, and like I was like, you know, I'm gonna do a podcast, live podcast or whatever for people, just so they can like get their voice out there, and so other people can like understand, like, hey, like if you're having a rough day, this person has been through like 100 surgeries. This person has gotten bombed like at a Boston Marathon. Like it's terrible stories, the horror stories I hear about the health industry too. It's insane from this whole experience, and it's humbled me completely.
And I love coming here because nobody's staring at us. You know, we're the normal ones, and it's all those leggies that are walking around, you know, that I always see. And it's neat. My girlfriend couldn't even find me because there's too many wheelchairs. And where are you going to find that at? So
you got a bright orange shirt.
Yeah, today, they can see it. But you know, just to your point, it's I think you and I are a lot like those Chihuahuas that think they're a Saint Bernard. So it's not like, why do we have to hang out with other people with disabilities? Why can't we just hang out with people? And it's the world that labels that. But, you know, to your point, I don't really have a lot of disabled people in my life. Now, I am mentoring and I'm at events and things like that. But again, we are just as normal as anybody else that is in this conference. And, you know, it's been awesome to see the looks of people coming over here when you're hosting your show. He's doing that. How can he do that? And here you are, brother.
Yeah. And I've loved doing it, man. I like woke up this morning, I'm like, I gotta get up. I gotta go talk to a bunch of people. But you know, if it makes
Dave stiffed me, man. Dave's not doing the show, man.
If it makes them happy. Like, even like children, man, like they just want to put the headphones on and you can see what it's like because they see it on YouTube, they see it on TV, and I implore them to come on the show, like whether it's like a 5-minute interview, just to like so dip their toe in the water. I had this kid the other day that said he wanted to start his own podcast because of me. And like that's like, and he was disabled, and I was like, that was like a really beautiful thing. He was like 17, and I'm really hoping I can like get like a GoFundMe for him or something.
Because we're not mainstream, we aren't like the others. We don't get those opportunities, so it's great that for them to see role models like yourself, or Tammy Duckworth, Senator Tammy Duckworth, or Jim Abbott, or Shaquem Griffin, or all these people that have overcome so much. And I want to thank you for giving me a short little bit of time. And yeah, we'll go in depth down the road. We'll do a big part 2. And again, they're probably going, how'd this guy without legs do all that? All the videos are on YouTube. Just Google Dave Stevens or Dave Stevens Speaks, and you can see all that.
Yeah, I actually did Google you.
I took the porn down, so luckily, yeah.
I did Google you. I was like, no fucking way. I was like, you like low center of gravity. You're probably just able to tackle it, mother.
It had its advantages. Again, those guys, centers and linemen, didn't know how to block a guy with no legs who's playing defense, and so I would shoot right through or free up the linebacker. Same for wrestling. I had that advantage. You didn't know what to do against a guy with no legs, but I knew what to do against you leggies. So I would use that to that advantage. And wrestling was probably my best sport because it was one-on-one, but I'm just blessed. I found out years later what that was like for the coaches to go to the parents of players that I beat out in football and baseball to be in the starting lineup. Can you imagine telling the parent of that kid that, like, hey, your kid sucks? He sucks so bad, a dude without legs beat him out. Think about that mentality. Like, wow, my kid he should go become a gynecologist or a doctor or a lawyer. Like, sports is not his thing.
I have 2 questions for you before we get out of here. But when it comes to the sports, was it like difficult to get into it right away, or were you just a natural?
I had a lot of friends starting in 7th and 8th grade, and I got tired of sitting back and watch everybody in recess playing kickball and those kind of things. And that slowly developed. I'd be in my buddy's backyard, and at first it was a tennis ball instead of a baseball. And at first it was a Nerf football instead, and a basketball, and all these things I started playing. And then I figured out the trajectory of where the ball would land and those kind of things, and how to hit and run on your arms and all those there were no coaches. There isn't a how to play sports for dummies without legs book out there. So you just evolve. You had coaches that believed in you. My coaches would tie their legs behind their back to work on wrestling moves, so they knew what they would teach me. I had a baseball coach who stuck me in right field. Who sticks a guy without legs in right field and lets him in the starting lineup? So I'm blessed that I had coaches and teachers and everybody that believed in me, but also athletic skills. And I'm not bragging, but I could hit a ball. I could run in those days. And it's been neat to watch. I have 3 sons that were born with legs, and to live vicariously through them and see my middle one, who's an exact clone of me, going, wow, that's what I might have been as a baseball player with legs. And to see those successes, it's been even bigger as a challenge. As a parent with a disability, it's even harder to try to give them a normal life as well. So that's my proudest thing. You asked me what the accomplishments would be. Would it be pinch hitting for Darryl Strawberries or going to Super Bowl or all these things? It's raising 3 sons to be amazing young men.
That's the goal, right? The circle of life, like it's being a parent and raising some amazing kids. I was just about to ask the second question, which is, what are you most grateful for? I'm guessing it's your family.
There we go. My 3 boys, Brady, Tate, and Luke. I love them, and I hope as an older parent, I hope I get to live a long time to get grandkids and see what they become.
They definitely have a great dad, and I look forward to you mentoring me because that, like I said, like lit my eyes up. I was like, yes, like finally someone that's like me that could help me get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
But,
we got to get you bigger than me so people actually see you and hear you and stuff, because nobody sees my crap. So. Well, thank you,
Dave, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. And for everybody who has watched this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, take a breath for me.